Kaizen Costing. It's a substantially theoretical topic only. Kindly note it down. Kaizen Costing. It refers to the ongoing continuous improvement program. Ongoing continuous improvement program, which focuses on the reduction of waste in production process. Production process. Okay. Next. Thereby further lowering the cost. Thereby further lowering the cost below the initial stage.
Sir, further
Lowering the cost below the initial stage. In bracket, that is design stage. That is a design stage. In design stage or design phase, we may have how and all we have to reduce our cost. But theoretically, that is okay. Practically, every aspect it can be in the question to reduce the cost. And every employee or every parties involved has to participate to reduce the cost. Therefore, it's not a one-time program. It's called what? Continuous program. Since because of reduction in waste, we are going to improve. That's why it's called a continuous improvement program. Are you able to follow or not? Clear? Then. Next, it's a Japanese term. It's a Japanese term for a number of cost reduction steps.
Japanese term?
For a number of cost reduction steps. One of the cost reduction steps. It may be further chance of waste reduction. Further chance of waste reduction, cost and time reduction, and product improvement. Such a continuous cost reduction technique is called. Such continuous cost reduction technique is called Kaizen costing. That is, there are always opportunity. There are always opportunity to control cost even after the design space, even after the design space is completed, though though these opportunities are these opportunities are fewer than fewer കുറച്ച്, okay, fewer than during the design space, fewer than during the design space. The sense for design space, we may have elaborately where and all possibly have to reduce the cost. Everything made the plan. But that alone is not sufficient. Even small reduction in cost that has an impact for the product viability or reaching marketability or improving the quality or cost reduction. So many aspects are improving the profit of the company. Even small reduction may have the impact. Am I right? Yes or no? That is called what? Continuous improvement program. That concept is called Kaizen Costing. Clear? That's why after pandemic, because of reduction in salary, many places in many family fathers may have cost reduction technique where and all we can cut. Right? But that alone is not sufficient. What is our participation? If at all we cannot the person to generate the revenue, we can be the person to minimize the cost. Right? So every aspect we have to participate. If I'm not there in the room, I'll switch off the light. Thereafter only will come back. I will come. I'll switch off the fan. Small efforts. I won't waste water. Where and all possible, I instead of purchasing 2 or 3 clothes in Diwali, I'll purchase only one. I know the situation now. Clear? So if you are having some moral responsibility, that's why expenses not incurred is equal to income to the revenue, right? So you can't generate the revenue, but you can minimize the waste or you can minimize the loss. Unnecessary things you can do the put avoid. Clear? So same manner in company also, where and all possible continuously, we have to give the reduction process that will give the improvement. Am I right? Next. The system seeks Kaizen system seeks. This system seeks gradual improvement in the existing situation. Gradual improvements in the existing situation at an applicable cost. Sorry, acceptable cost. At an acceptable cost. Next, there are no limits to the level of improvement. No limits to the level of improvement that can be implemented. Kaizen costing principles involves continuation. Okay, Kaizen costing principles involves setting a standard and then continuously improving those standards. Continuously improving those standards to achieve long-term sustainable improvement. Long-term sustainable improvement. Okay. The focus is to eliminate waste, improving the system, productivity, It involves all employees and all areas of the business. Next. Activities in Kaizen costing includes elimination of waste in point number A, production, B, assembly, distribution process, as well as elimination of work steps in any area, any of these area, elimination of work steps in any of these area. Next, the cost reduction resulting from Kaizen costing. Cost reduction resulting from Kaizen costing are much more smaller than those achieved with value engineering.
Much more.
Smaller than those achieved with value engineering. But these are still significant. Because competitive pressures are likely to force down the pressure of force down the price of the product.
Sir, competitive pressures
Are likely to force down the price of the product. Okay. Good. Next. So let's see the first exam question based on the theory. Kaizen costing, question number 1. Jumble question. Lakshmi Padragana.
Question number 1. Arnav Automobiles Limited is a leading manufacturer of commercial vehicles in India. It uses standard costing and variance analysis to measure its operating performance. Now, management of Arnav Automobiles Limited wants to compete globally and change its performance measurement system to Kaizen Costing. State why Kaizen Costing could be more useful for performance measurement than the standard costing and variance analysis.
That's all, right? Okay. To reduce the cost. Okay, Kavita. busy. To reduce the cost. Standard costing is also one of the tools for the purpose of what? Cost reduction, controlling the cost. But the company wants to move from standard costing to Kaizen costing. Why? Why the Kaizen costing is superior than standard costing or not with respect to cost saving? That is what the question. Am I right? So indirectly the theory question only. Am I right or not? Now answer. Both standard costing and Kaizen costing are helpful and useful for measurement of performance of a company, but in different approach.
The measurement and
Measurement of performance of the company in a different approach. Okay. Better I can put 2-column table. What was earlier? That is called window dressing. First one, standard costing. Second column, Kaizen costing. Under standard costing, standards of all important variables.
Sir,
Standards of all important variables.
pen irko.
Like cost and quantity of material,
Standards of all important variables.
like cost and quantity of materials, labor and overhead are set at the beginning of the year. These set standards are compared with the actual performance to analyze the variance.
compared with
Actual performance to analyze the variance. In addition to that, all the variants are further classified into planning and dash.
Operational.
operational variance.
Operational variance. Yesterday you did the homework also, right? Except Vasalya. Planning and operational variance. So that we can distinguish the variance. That are within the management's control and beyond their efforts.
Beyond the
beyond management's effort. What and all within the management control, what and all beyond management control. Hence, standard costing is a post-event measure. Post-event measure to stop recurrence. To stop recurrence. In Kaizen costing, you can go to Kaizen costing. It emphasizes on continuous improvement. Target once set at the beginning of the year are updated continuously
obtained
to reflect the improvement that has already been achieved and that are yet to be achieved. Next paragraph. Conclusion. As a continuous improvement measure, Kaizen costing set a new challenges before the workers, and the managers, and helps to improve and control the situation. To achieve desired target result. Therefore, if Kaizen costing is used in place, of standard costing, to measure performance, then it will keep what company name?
Arnav
Arnav Automobiles Limited.
It will keep that company name of the company country. Competent enough to head on competent enough to head on with the global, what type of company? This company?
Automobile.
Global automobile industries. Okay, that's all. So, what is superior then, based on the suggestion?
Kaizen Costing.
Kaizen Costing. Understood? Good. Arvind. Next Polama. Good. Go to next question. Panna. Raghvendra, படிக்கல? Unmute பண்றாங்க, unmute. Raghu, Ravindra, unmute. Mute.
Question number 2. ABC Limited is planning to introduce Kaizen costing approach in its manufacturing plant. State whether and why the following are valid or not in respect of Kaizen costing. 1. VP Finance is of the view that company has to make a huge initial investment to bring a large scale modification in production process. Number 2. Head personnel has made a point that the introduction of Kaizen costing does not eliminate the training requirements of employees. 3. General manager manufacturing firmly believes that only shop floor employees and workers involvement is prerequisite of Kaizen costing approach. 4. Manager operations has concern about creation of confusing among employees and workers regarding their roles and degradation in quality of production.
Okay. So, what is the requirement? Whether we can implement a Kaizen costing or not, am I right?
Yes, sir.
What are the first point? Can you read?
Yes, sir. VP Finance is of the view that company has to make a huge initial investment to bring a large scale modification in production process.
Yeah. So, valid or invalid, Kanna? Invalid. What's the doubt? Kaizen costing is a small amount of investment that in the continuous manner you have to do. It's not a one-time process. It's not a huge investment. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Invalid. It's a cost reduction program. Kaizen costing is a cost reduction program which involves small and continuous improvement rather than large scale investment. What next, Kana?
Head personnel has made a point that introduction of Kaizen costing does not eliminate the training requirement of employee.
So,
Valid, sir.
yeah.
Valid.
Yeah, even if you are going to implement Kaizen costing, training is important. Is it right or not? Valid. Okay. Right, what Kaizen costing also specifies training is important program so that you can improve the employee. Like that, you got right story. Can you please tell me, based on dimming point, whether you have to give the training or not? 14 dimming point, long ago, so long ago.
Yes. Trainings.
Yes, sir.
Inspection is important or not? Based
No.
on
No. No.
Slap yourself. C is dependent on inspection. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. What is the next point, Kanna?
General manager of manufacturing firmly believes that only shop floor employees and workers' involvement is prerequisite of Kaizen costing approach.
Right or
Not
not?
valid.
Invalid. Why? It's a
Not
part.
valid.
Am I right? Everybody has to follow. Not only for the top management. Obam,
Yes, sir.
what next, Kanna? That's all.
Sir, நான் படிக்கட்டுமா சார்?
முடிஞ்சிருத்தோன்னு இருக்கா?
இல்ல ஒண்ணு இருக்கு சார்.
படிக்க வேண்டியதானே அப்ப? பண்றாங்க. Next.
Manager of operations has sir. Manager of operations has concern about creation of confusion among employees and workers regarding their roles and a degradation in quality of production. Not valid.
Invalid. Kaizen costing is a cost reduction technique. Am I right? Without implementing the quality of the product. Cost reduction itself without tampering the quality of the product. Okay, disturbing or tampering the quality of the product, compromising the quality of product. Understood, Kanna? Good. Munida? Shall I go to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Kavita, Padika. A good girl in the class. Unlike Priyanka.
Question 3. Messrs India Limited (MIL) is an automobile manufacturer in India and a subsidiary of Japanese automobile and motorcycle manufacturer Leon. It manufactures and sells a complete range of cars from the entry level to the hatchback to sedans and has a present market share of 22% of Indian passenger car markets. MIL uses a system of standard costing to set its budgets. Budgets are set semi-annually by the finance department after the approval of the board of directors at MIL. The finance department prepares variance report each month for review in the board of directors meeting, where the actual performance is compared with the budgeted figures. Mr. Suzuki, Group CEO of the Leon, is of the opinion that Kaizen costing method should be implemented as a system of planning and control in MIL.
What about the question? Nature of the question? Australia, Donchia, explain.
They use standard costing and they compare actual with the budgeted result. So the CEO, the group CEO wants to see if Kaizen costing can be implemented for planning and control.
Right?
Sorry, sir.
Right or not?
Yes, sir.
So what would be the answer? Control C, Control V. From where to where? Question number 1 to similar question only. They change the company, they change the story. Am I right? So in the respective place, you have to write this particular company name, MIL name. That's all. Am I right? So you have to write something about what standard costing. You have to write something about what Kaizen costing. Why Kaizen costing is much more better than standard costing. You have to write the conclusion. Manageable only. Same question only. Again, they ask in different fashion. Obam, enjoyed. Good.